Alright guys, so we are officially starting the next book for ourselves. It's called Nancy Drew and the Clue Crew, Scream for Ice Cream. Written by Carolyn Keene and illustrated by Mackie Pamintuan. Okay, let's check out the back before we get started. How can a contest this sweet turn so sticky? Nancy and her friends think there is nothing more fun than ice cream in the summer. So when they find out that the owners of the local ice cream factory are hosting a contest, the Clue Crew can't wait to enter. Contestants must come up with brand new flavors, and they can use whatever ingredients they want. Nancy is sure that her entry, Clueberry, will win. But when a friend's secret recipe goes missing, oh no, Nancy suspects that someone not so sweet is up to no good. Test your detective skills with more Clue Crew cases. So we've got other books in the series as well. Sleepover Sleuths and Pony Problems. All right, let's check out our first chapter. Chapter 1. Here's our table of contents. We're at Chapter 1. What's the scoop? Chapter 1. What's the scoop? Can we taste the ice cream now? Bess Marvin asked. George Fane rolled 2 doubled-up coffee cans on top of the picnic table. The middle can was filled with very cold milk, sugar, vanilla, and blueberries. I told you a gazillion times, Bess, she said. Not until it's ready. Unless you want mushy ice cream, 8-year-old Nancy Drew said with a giggle. Bess and George were Nancy's 2 best friends. They were cousins, too, but as different as strawberry and fudge ripple ice cream. George was really into computers. Bess could fix or build anything, like the homemade ice cream maker George found instructions for on the web. Here, I'm just going to move this down a little bit closer, guys, so we can see it just a little bit better. Oh, yeah, that's 100 times better. There we go. Much better. Okay. Nancy had been counting the days until Saturday. That's when the new Jim and Barry's ice cream factory would open on River Street. It was also the day of the Jim and Barry's ice cream flavor contest. Whoever came up with the best flavor would win a special silver ticket. The ticket would allow the winner to come into the factory anytime for a free pint of ice cream. The thought of Jim and Barry's ice cream always made the girls' mouth water. They had neat flavors like Squirrel Nut Crunch, Gorilla Vanilla, and Cookie Crumble. For the contest, Nancy, Bess, and George came up with a flavor called Clueberry. It was vanilla ice cream loaded with blueberries and a secret surprise, like a big juicy strawberry on the bottom. The best part, Nancy said, is the clues on each container leading to the surprise. It's like a mystery in every pint, George declared. And everybody knows we love mysteries, Bess exclaimed. That's because Nancy, Bess, and George were great at solving mysteries. They had even started their own detective club called the Clue Crew. Their detective headquarters were in Nancy's room. They carefully kept their clues in Nancy's desk drawer. George wrote their detective files on Nancy's computer. Can we taste it now? Bess asked, twirling a lock of her blonde hair around her finger. Not until it's ready, Nancy and George said together. Just then, the sound of bells filled the air. Nancy would know that sound anywhere. It was the jingle of the Mr. Drippy ice cream truck. "If you want ice cream so badly, Bess," George said, "why don't you buy some from Mr. Drippy?" "Mr. Drippy?" Bess answered. She gave a little shudder. "Ugh, I'd rather buy ice cream from Godzilla." "Mr. Drippy is Godzilla," Nancy said. "He's the meanest ice cream man in River Heights, maybe the world." Ooh, he's mean. Ooh, he doesn't look so nice. Look at his eyebrow. He looks kind of upset or confused. We'll have to see what happens. The truck pulled up to the sidewalk. 3 kids walked over to it. Mr. Drippy leaned out of the square window on the truck. Without a smile, he began to bark, "Fall in line! Heads up! First customer, go!" The first boy in line wore a baseball cap and a very worried look on his face. He gulped, "Panda bar." Mr. Drippy narrowed his eyes. "No, please, no Panda bar," he declared. "Next!" A girl in a white t-shirt and red shorts marched up to the window. She threw back her shoulders and shouted, "1 chocolate ice cream pop, please, sir. Thank you, sir." Mr. Drippy nodded as he handed the girl the pop. "See?" Bess whispered. "Mr. Drippy doesn't give ice cream to anyone who forgets to say please or thank you." Nancy saw a boy inside the truck. It was Henderson, Mr. Drippy's son. Henderson was in the 4th grade at River Heights Elementary School. He was also the biggest brat in school. Henderson probably never says please or thank you, Nancy said, and he must get all the ice cream he wants. "Forget it," George said. "If we win this contest, we won't ever have to buy ice cream from Mr. Drippy again." As the truck pulled away from the curb, Henderson leaned out. Let's look at that picture one more time. So there's Mr. Drippy, and there's his son Henderson. He leaned out the window. "What's the matter, girls?" he sneered loudly. "Don't you like ice cream?" "We don't like you," George muttered under her breath. "At least Jim and Barry are nice," Bess said. Nancy brushed a wisp of her reddish blonde hair from her forehead. "Guess what? My dad read in a newspaper that Jim and Barry will be at the factory tomorrow," she said. "That's when we're supposed to sign up for the contest." "I'll be there too," a voice said. Nancy, Bess, and George turned their heads. Deirdre Shannon had walked into the yard. Deirdre was in the girls' 3rd grade class at school. She usually got whatever she wanted, like her own website called Dishing with Deirdre. "Hi, Deirdre," Nancy said. "We're making ice cream." "What a coinky-dink," Deirdre said. She held up a small red notebook. "I'm writing about the contest, so I have to taste everybody's ice cream. It's called research." George tossed her dark curls as she laughed. "You mean it's called getting to eat a ton of ice cream," she teased. "Ha ha," Deirdre said with a frown. "Our ice cream isn't ready yet, Deirdre," Nancy said. "But Hannah has a pitcher of lemonade in the kitchen." Hannah Gruen was the Drews' housekeeper. She had been taking care of Nancy since Nancy's mother died. Nancy's mom is not around anymore. She passed away. Since Nancy's mother died when she was only 3 years old. Hannah cooked the best vegetable lasagna. baked the best cookies, and gave Nancy the best hugs in the whole world. Will Hannah give me one of her famous oatmeal cookies too? Deirdre asked, her eyes flashing. If you say please, Nancy said. I'm there, Deirdre said, running toward the house. Wow, George said. She stopped rolling to shake out her hand. My hand hasn't been this tired since I instant messaged my pen pal in California for an hour. An hour? Bess cried. You called that instant? Suddenly, Nancy heard a rustling noise. She thought it was a squirrel in the hedge, until she heard a girl's voice hiss. Nancy! Bess! George! Ooh, maybe that's the girl. Who's there? Nancy hissed back. A girl slowly stood up behind the hedge. It was their friend, Kendra Jackson. Her shiny black hair was tied back in a tight ponytail. She wore a pair of black sunglasses. She looked very mysterious. She looked like a spy. Hi, Kendra, Nancy said. What's... Shh! Kendra said, putting her index finger to her lips. I need to tell you a secret. A top secret. All right. There we have our friends, Nancy and Kendra. And she's got a secret to tell in the next chapter, which we will hear next time when we read Nancy Drew and the Clue Crew Scream for Ice Cream. I hope you enjoyed Chapter 1. See you next time for Chapter 2. Bye!